Another day, another time we meet here on TV47 Prime. I trust that you had a lovely day, the 3rd of June 2026. My name is Debarl, and joining me on the sign language desk is Ruda Nyumai. And here are the stories that made up the day. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, the Ebola quarantine facility is here to stay. This is according to Health CS Eden Duale, who has maintained that the government will not consult citizens as the Ebola epidemic does not require consultations. Elizabeth Atieno starts us off.
2:30 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, Health Cabinet Secretary Eden Duale appeared before members of the National Assembly where he asserted that the Ebola quarantine facility for U.S. nationals at the Laikipia Air Base will remain in place despite the objections.
Laikipia Air Base is one of the 23 quarantine isolation centers we are building, and we will not stop it. Why? The runway in Laikipia is one of the longest runway. That is where we have KDF medical team.
The legislators pressed CS Duale with questions and concerns on the Ebola facility, many inquiring why the government appears to be endangering the lives of Kenyans to protect American citizens.
Where in that agreement does it say that we can expose Kenyan citizens at the expense so that we can be able to save citizens of the US?
Katika counties 20 ambao walikuwa wamekubali, Mombasa ilikuwa moja wao. Kama mama Mombasa, sitaki kuona mzungu kule anatibiwa Ebola. Iwe kama itajengwa ni ya kuangalia watu wetu peke yake, waziri.
So I want to tell the CS that we will resist that Alupe Hospital cannot be made an isolation center for Ebola.
I have listened to the CS, and there is actually no space in his speech about the view of Kenyans. I'm yet to meet one single Kenyan who is in support of having this quarantine in Kenya, Honorable Speaker.
So Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, I really want to urge you, my very good friend, if we say every county refuses, then where are we going to treat Kenyans? Are we going to treat them up in the air?
Kenya has designated 23 isolation facilities, but many are wondering if the Laikipia Air Base facility will equally benefit Kenyans.
They are not foreign facilities. They are not exclusive facilities. They are not facilities reserved for any nationality. They are public health assets.
CS Duale has maintained that the establishment of the facility in Laikipia is stipulated in a Kenya-US Health Cooperation Agreement signed on the 24th of July 2015 and approved by Parliament on the 9th of February 2017. The cooperation was then implemented on the 6th of April 2017 before it was renewed on the 5th of April 2022 and will remain valid until 2029.
And in 2019, there was Corona, which was a global problem. We didn't see the US come out, the way they have come out now, to construct a Corona isolation center.
Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
In the meantime, the United States Embassy in Kenya has maintained that a proposed Ebola bio-isolation facility like Laikipia poses no risk to nearby communities, even as legal and public scrutiny over the project continues. This comes after a court suspended aspects of the project following a petition challenging its implementation. The embassy says it is working closely with the Kenyan government to address concerns and clarify the objectives of the facility. Suzanne Locho has more details.
The United States Embassy in Kenya says it's aware of court action filed in the country and it's working with the Kenyan government to address objections while communicating shared public health objectives following a court suspension of the proposed Ebola bio-isolation facility in Laikipia. It maintains that the Laikipia Bio-Isolation Facility is part of a broader effort to prevent the spread of the disease and reduce regional health risks, and says it does not pose a risk to nearby communities. The embassy says that the United States remains the largest financial contributor to the Ebola response effort, with direct assistance from the Department of State exceeding $350 million through OCHA pooled funds supporting the DRC, Uganda and South Sudan. The debate continues. However, while asked what would happen if Kenya was to block a planned U.S. quarantine facility for Americans potentially exposed to Ebola, Dr. Mehmet Ozi said that the State Department is confident it can work out an arrangement with Kenya. This comes as discussions continue in court and in public over a suspended project amid heightened scrutiny of regional Ebola preparedness.
We are confident, and the State Department is working on this diligently, that they're going to be able to work out something with Kenya. There has already been a fair amount of communication around this issue. We have and that's by the way, there's a UK base there. We have other people who might be willing to welcome us, and we have our German colleagues as well. So there's many places we can send folks, but sending them across the world, especially when we're not sure what's going on with them, is probably not the wisest.
On prevention measures, as Ebola concerns rise along the Kenya-Uganda border in Busia County, KEMRI has donated protective equipment to boost preparedness and support frontline response. At Busia County Referral Hospital, KEMRI and county health officials reaffirmed joint efforts to strengthen surveillance, with leaders assuring the system is ready to handle any Ebola cases.
We are here to receive a consignment of hand washing, and sanitizer, personal protection equipment, and some thermoguns, and also some disinfectant, which helps us to get rid of whatever impurities and viruses there may be around us.
Meanwhile, the ongoing Bundibugyo Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda has highlighted weaknesses in Africa's health system, prompting an emergency meeting for senior health officials to discuss a coordinated response.
And we've tried to consolidate all of these priority actions, and on top of the list, all the member states have asked strengthening of the borders. Another issue is the propositioning.
The crucible of COVID-19, previous Ebola outbreaks, Mpox and cholera has forged a singular truth. No nation can build a fortress of health security alone.
Susan Locho for TV47, Nairobi.
Of course, be sure to put your eyes peeled, because we shall be discussing that also with the panelists much later in the course of the program, looking at other confluence of factors, of course, that has been affecting the country as it is right now. Now, the Naivasha Law Courts has granted the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, 21 days to complete investigations into the deadly dormitory fire to Tumishi Girls Academy in Gilgil. The ruling comes after detectives sought 30 days to conclude their probe into the tragedy that claimed lives and left several students hospitalized. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru reports.
9 suspects linked to the Utumishi Academy fire tragedy were arraigned before Abdukadir Lorot at the Naivasha Law Courts as the court considered an application by investigators seeking an additional time to complete inquiries before any formal charges are preferred.
I am persuaded that the respondents ought to be detained as plain. The investigators can move with speed and shorten these days, so I will allow the investigators a period of 21 days to conclude investigation.
In his ruling, Chief Magistrate Lorot commended security agencies and members of the media for carrying out their respective duties responsibly while safeguarding the rights and welfare of the affected children throughout the investigation process.
The media was extremely cooperative. We only allowed accredited media in the courtroom. They did not engage live coverage to allow editors to sort out what is to be aired in order to avoid a situation where the live transmission captures events that may jeopardize the protection of the respondents as minors without the remedy of reduction.
The court further noted the gravity of the matter, emphasizing that investigation must be thorough given the loss of life and the number of students who sustained injuries during the incident.
There are charred remains of victims still in the morgue awaiting identification, After forensic matching, parents sent their daughters to school and left them in the assured safety of the care of the school. They received the call in the still of the night that there has been an incident in school. Some were lucky to have received their daughters in good health, maybe traumatized, but in one piece. Others were informed that their daughters were injured and were hospitalized, nursing severe burn wounds. For others, there was no child, just information that they did not make it.
Magistrate Lorot subsequently granted investigators 21 days to finalize their probe and directed the matter be mentioned again on June 24th for further directions.
I now allow the application. The 4 suspects will be detained at the Nakuru Children Remand Home. And of course, I expect that there will be measures put in place to ensure that they are safe.
For TV47, I'm Willie Dennis Njeru.
Now, the impact of the nationwide protest against the increase in fuel prices continues to deepen the pain experienced by many communities. Today, Wednesday, at Nyeri Referral Hospital, a post-mortem examination on the body of Joseph Kariuki revealed that he died after being shot in the head.
The protests, which were initially described as peaceful demonstrations organized by public transport operators across the country to protest the high cost of fuel, left several families mourning their loved ones. In Nyeri town, the strike by public transport operators left the family of 26-year-old Joseph Kariuki devastated after he was struck by a bullet while among the protesters. And today, at this referral hospital in Nyeri, a post-mortem examination established that Joseph died from excessive blood loss after being shot in the head during the protest.
And the cause of death, as informed and as we have witnessed during the process, was a head injury resultant of a single gunshot wound. And we are contented with report given to us by the pathologists, by the county government of Nyeri, and the support of pathologists from IMLU.
Through their lawyer, the family expressed satisfaction with the findings of the pathologist and vowed to pursue justice in court.
Naomba Inspector General of Police Douglas Kaja tuweze kupata haki ya huyu mtoto na mwenye alimpiga risasi tuweze kujua ni nani. Ndio jambo kama hili likome na lisiwe la kurudiwa tena katika nchi yetu.
We've got very firm instructions to proceed and pursue this matter, to pursue investigations together with the relevant authorities.
This is impunity, and when impunity is left unchallenged, it becomes bolder. We demand justice for the people who lost their life in this fuel protest, and the government should do something about it.
The human rights organization Vocal Africa is also calling for the government to be held accountable and for those responsible for the shooting to face the full force of the law.
Now, post-mortem examination has revealed that 33-year-old Bernard Omai, who died in police custody, was assaulted and suffered multiple injuries from blunt force trauma, neck compression, and multiple soft tissue injuries. Bernard's family has called on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to expedite the investigations into the brutal murder of their kin, further accusing the police of trying to sweep the matter under the rug.
The records at City Mortuary, he was brought in on 22nd of May 2026. The deceased was arrested in Utawala, and how he ended up at Kibra police station is still a mystery to us at this point, because he was transferred at some point to Kibra police station. Why, we don't know, and it was not within the vicinity of his arrest. And then the family was informed of his death on 23rd of May, that is Saturday, a day after he was brought to the City Mortuary. There have been various delays to date as to why the postmortem has not been conducted, but thankfully it has finally been conducted, and we can confirm without a shadow of doubt that the cause of death is blunt force trauma to various parts of the body, his back, his legs, his spine, his head, and that caused bleeding from his mouth, from his ears, and from his nose, and different secretions also were noted from therein. He was arrested while healthy, and this was confirmed from a police post in Utawala. And so we still do not understand how it is that he came to die on the 22nd while arrested, while in good health. And it is very clear from the post-mortem that assault is the cause of his death.
He had been arrested by some officers with allegations that he had stolen a motorbike in Kibra and drove it to Utawala with the intention of selling it. My questions were, they never even knew that Bena never know how to drive a motorbike. So my question is, should we continue living in the fear of the same people who are supposed to protect us? And to the Kenya Police Service, you are here to protect us. Who will protect us from you?
To the corridors of justice, where the High Court has dismissed the habeas corpus petition filed by the family of missing security analyst Mwenda Mbijiwe, ruling that insufficient evidence exists to link any state agency to his disappearance 4 years ago. Faith Wagare has more.
A ruling that has left the family and friends of Mwenda Mbijiwe gripped with deep fear and questions that remain unanswered. A ruling by High Court Judge Justice Martin Muya has thrown out the family's habeas corpus application, which had sought to compel the state to present Mwenda Mbijiwe before the court, regardless of whether he is alive. This is after the court found there was insufficient evidence to link any state agency to his disappearance.
A prima facie case has not been made to the effect that the first applicant was in the legal custody of the respondents.
In its ruling, the court stated that the burden lay with Mbijiwe's family to demonstrate through credible evidence that he was under the custody or control of the respondents at the time of his disappearance.
That any person illegally or improperly detained in public or private custody within those limits be set at liberty.
Although the family established that Mbijiwe had been arrested by police officers prior to his disappearance, the court held that they were unable to prove he remained in the respondent's custody thereafter. The testimony of Mbijiwe's mother, who was not present at the scene where the alleged abduction took place, was dismissed after the court ruled it did not link the respondents to his detention or disappearance. Her account had relied entirely on information relayed to her by Edward Mwangi Macharia, who is the owner of a vehicle Mbijiwe had hired, who is himself reported to have since disappeared.
The court was of the view that this witness could throw some light on the disappearance of the first applicant.
The family's lead attorney Evans Ondeki expressed profound disappointment with the outcome, announcing his intention to challenge the ruling before the Court of Appeal.
We are aware that the police had a container where they used to torture people and take to Livayara, take to Masingatam, and also take to Shakaora. They will be brought to account. Technicalities will not assist them because the truth will always come out.
Nataka sasa Ruto aniite State House, niende nimwambie mambo hajawahi jua ya Kinoti, ya DCI Kinoti, Matiang'i na Kibicho. Because kuna pesa ya mtoto wangu ilikuwa imetoka Marekani ya kuja kufanya kampeni ya governor wa Meru. That was on 15th, ilikuwa ikuja on 15th of June na kapot 2021 na Mwenda alipotea tarehe 12 2021 on a Saturday because Kinoti tayari walikuwa wamemuita wakamwambia akuja aseme kama atakubali kupeana 20% ya hiyo pesa ilikuwa inatoka Marekani.
Mwenda Mbijiwe, a former KDF soldier turned security analyst, has now been seen since June 2021. He's believed to have been forcibly taken along Thika Road as he made his way from Nairobi to Meru. His car was later found abandoned in Tatu City, yet more than 5 years on, no one has been able to say with certainty where he is or what happened to him. Faith Wagare, TV47.
Thanks indeed, Faith Wagare. Now, the Nakuru High Court has granted bond to 2 suspects charged in connection with the murder of PCA Tabuga cleric Reverend Julius Ndumia. Justice Tito Maoga Gesora ruled that there were no compelling reasons to continue detaining the suspects pending trial. Mike Chala Schulze has more.
Felix Odinga and Beryl Nafula.
After pleading not guilty to the charges, Beryl Nafula Otenyo and Felix Odinga Okumu, a married couple, were released after the court ruled that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient grounds to warrant their continued detention. The two were allegedly found in possession of a Samsung and Infinix phone, as well as SIM cards believed to belong to the late Reverend Julius Ndumia and his watchman.
Mkiwa na wengine ambao hapo kotini mkiwa mmejihami kwa silaha butu, mliweza kumuibia Reverend Julius Ngare Ndumia simu yake aina ya Samsung A16 na SIM card ya Safaricom, SIM card ya Airtel na SIM card ya Fiber, yote yakiwa mali ya dhamana ya shilingi 22,500.
The investigating officer had sought additional time to detain the suspects, citing the seriousness of the offense, concerns over their safety, and the possibility that they could interfere with witnesses and evidence.
Ndiona, considering the serious nature of the offenses with which they have been charged with, we pray that you allow the application to have a bond denied at this very early stage.
However, the court dismissed the application, noting that the accused are parents and primary caregivers to children who had been left without support, and therefore granted them a bond of 300,000 shillings with a surety of similar amount or an alternative cash bail of 200,000 shillings each.
Jaridhika kwamba kuna msingi wa kutosha ili kuwakataza dhamana hawa washtakiwa. Kwa hivyo washtakiwa watawachiliwa kama wanaweza na bondi ya kila mmoja shilingi 300,000, mdhamini mmoja wa kiasi hicho, ama kama hawana mdhamini pesa taslim shilingi 200,000 kila mmoja.
The case is scheduled for mention and further directions on June 17th.
Tarehe 17 mwezi huu tutakuja kwa sababu ya kongamano la kabla ya kesi kuendelea.
Reverend Julius Ndumia was murdered on May 3rd, 2026 at his residence within PCEA Tabuga Church compound in Lanet, Nakuru County. Mike Cello, TV47.
The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum has officially withdrawn Kenya Power's retail electricity tariff review application, originally submitted on March 31st. Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi confirmed today in Nairobi that the decision aims to protect households and businesses from soaring living costs. Our reporter, Michelle Mwangi, has the details.
In a move likely to bring relief to households and businesses, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum announced that Kenya Power's tariff review application, submitted on the 31st of March this year, will no longer proceed.
The retail electricity tariff review application that was submitted on the 31st of March this year by KPLC on behalf of the sector has been withdrawn.
This decision reflects the need to maintain a sustainable energy sector while also protecting household businesses and industries from cost escalation.
It aims to support economic growth, safeguard livelihoods, and create jobs.
Following the withdrawal of the application, the current retail electricity tariffs shall remain in force and unchanged unless otherwise lawfully reviewed in accordance with the Energy Act and applicable regulatory procedures.
Consumers and businesses, wherever they are, should continue to enjoy uninterrupted access to electricity under the current tariff structure.
The Cabinet Secretary further emphasized that electricity tariff reviews are governed by a strict legal framework under the Energy Act of 2019.
Electricity tariffs is subject to a clear legal and regulatory process. This includes First and foremost is the submission of an application for the review to EPRA.
Had the application been approved, consumers could have experienced changes in their monthly electricity bills depending on their category of consumption. With the electricity tariff review officially withdrawn, the government assures Kenyans of a stable supply of electricity and no change to current electricity prices. Michelle Mwangi, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning today held a public participation forum in Nairobi. Members of the public used the forum to voice diverse views over the proposed Finance Bill 2026. This report was produced by Alvin Kidinji.
Citizens across Siaya County and other public participation forums have raised concerns over taxation policy in the proposed finance bill, questioning fairness, transparency, and the impact of aggressiveness tax measures on the ordinary livelihoods, while also seeking clarity on government fiscal planning.
What measures have been put in place to ensure that the new tax proposals do not overburden low-income earners?
If we were to task these people doing mitumba, we have to consider which kind of profit are they making so that they can be taxed. But taxing them, the upfront fee before they sell anything, it's a burden to our people.
Key debates include taxation on betting, where some participants pushed for reduced rates to support the industry, while others advocated for higher taxes to curb gambling, reflecting divided views on regulation.
Ingawaje inaleta pesa kidogo kwa serikali, tungeomba ya kwamba iweze kuondolewa kwa sababu inaumiza vijana wetu.
Concerns were also raised about tax exemptions in the e-mobility sector, with some questioning their justification, alongside worries that the high taxes on equipment and motorcycles for persons with disability were making essential mobility tools unaffordable.
Why is it only that exemption is only for electric motorcycle and the electric buses? What about the ones that use fuel?
How do we make sure that we have our own local solutions that are not affected by global scenarios? And that one of them that has been highlighted is, let us incentivize people to go to electric bicycles, electric motorcycles, electric buses.
Broader fiscal questions emerged from attendees, including requests for clarification on the difference between the national budget and the finance bill, highlighting gaps in public understanding and the budgeting process.
What is the difference between the annual budget and the financial bill?
So tofauti ya finance bill na budget ni kwamba budget ni hesabu ya kutoa. Ni kutoa pesa ya barabara, ya masomo, ya afya. Finance bill nayo ni kujaribu kutafuta pesa ya kufinance nini? Expenditure.
Finance Committee Chair Kuria Kimani emphasized the importance of public participation, assuring citizens that their views are being considered in shaping the final legislation.
Whether unakubaliana ama unakataa, do not fear. They are your opinion. That is why it's public participation.
Separately, the proposed sovereign wealth fund attracted mixed reactions, with some Kenyans supporting the idea, while arguing strong safeguards such as an asset register and robust auditing systems to prevent mismanagement.
Inaenda kufanya nini? Ninasikia masomo, ninasikia nini tatusaidia future, sijui nini. Na present saa hii,
the fund shall be managed and invested for the benefit of current and future generations of the citizen of Kenya.
Overall, the forums underscored widespread demand for accountability and stronger oversight in Kenya's fiscal framework.
Pertinent questions there from Kenyans. Now, 45 Kenyans are among the foreign nationals that have been listed under what the U.S. Department of Homeland Security described as, quote-unquote, worst of the worst criminal aliens arrested by the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement, that is ICE. As our reporter Modoni Brenda highlights, the move comes as Washington intensifies migration enforcement against non-citizens with criminal records.
The United States Department of Homeland Security has identified 15 Kenyan nationals for deportation, citing a string of criminal convictions. Among those named in what is commonly referred as the worst of the worst list is Alfred Obiero, who was arrested in Colorado, whose record includes assault, driving under the influence and domestic violence offenses. Also on the list is Bethel Gadhu, who was arrested in California, who was convicted of robbery. In Texas, Moffat Mureithi faces drug-related charges, while Clement Mulovi is listed for fraud-related offenses. Mohammed Chekani, who was arrested in California, is listed for offenses including the kidnapping of a minor and violations under the Racketeering, Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, commonly known as RICO. Anthony Carrier, who was arrested in Washington State, is listed for fraud, making false statements and a hit-and-run offense. Meanwhile, Boniface Mboro, who was arrested in Georgia, is cited for aggravated assault with a weapon and possession of stolen property. Kelvin Gunyanyi, arrested in Pennsylvania, is listed for assault, threats and terror-related offenses. In Minnesota, Collins Keanch is reported to have been convicted of check forgery. Moses Okoth, who was arrested in Tennessee, faces an aggravated assault with a weapon conviction. And in Utah, Naserian Montet is reported to have been convicted of assault and violating a court order. This list underscores Washington's hardening stance on immigration enforcement, with U.S. authorities maintaining that foreign nationals convicted of serious offenses will face removal proceedings.
Now, less than 14 months before Kenyans head to the ballot, the country's political landscape is rapidly taking shape. The opposition is piling pressure on President William Ruto's administration over accountability and the role of state officers in politics, even as fresh political battles emerge within the Mount Kenya region. At the same time, opposition leaders are moving to unite behind a single candidate in a crucial parliamentary by-election. Our reporter Mike Kagongo now looks at the shifting alliances, growing accusations and high-stakes contest already defining the road to 2027.
Kenya's political temperature is rising, with new battle lines emerging across both government and opposition ranks. A section of opposition lawmakers under the United Alternative Government and Linda Mwananchi movement have challenged President William Ruto to personally address key national concerns, arguing that matters touching the economy, public debt, healthcare and constitutional freedoms should not be delegated to political surrogates.
In constitutional democracies, responsibilities cannot be delegated downward when power is exercised from the top.
The buck stops with you, therefore. Indeed, one of the defining obligations of presidency is accountability. A president may delegate functions, but he cannot delegate responsibility.
The president is elected to lead the entire nation, not one section against the other. The Constitution does not recognize government supporters and government opponents as separate classes of citizens.
The legislators also raised concerns over what they termed as growing involvement of cabinet secretaries in partisan politics, warning that the lines between government and political campaigns are increasingly becoming blurred.
Your administration is attempting to manufacture political enemies because it can no longer convincingly defend its record. Kenyans were promised lower taxes, cheaper unga, affordable fuel, jobs for the youth, affordable health care, dignity for hustlers, and a government that will understand ordinary suffering.
These constitutional guarantees cannot coexist with intimidation, unlawful force, abductions, suppression of dissent, or the criminalization of legitimate political participation.
Their statement come days after criticism over the role played by digital strategist Dennis Itumbi in talks involving government officials and transport stakeholders during recent fuel price protests.
It was not an act of courage. It was an act of panic. It was not a defense of government performance. It was an admission that your administration has run out of explanations for the growing frustrations of the Kenyan people.
Meanwhile, another political storm is brewing in the Mount Kenya region. Former Gatondo South MP Moses Kuria has strongly rejected allegations linking him to organized violence, accusing some of opposition figures of using his name for political gain.
How can I, Moses Kuria, a son of Mount Kenya region, organize for violence against my own people? How? How unfair would that be? And you know why they are saying this? They are saying this, one, to destroy my credibility. They have tried to brand me as a traitor, all sorts of possible among my people of Mount Kenya region.
And in a move signaling growing opposition unity, coalition leaders have resolved to field a single candidate in the upcoming Ol-Kalou parliamentary by-election, describing the contest as a key test of the political strength ahead of the 2027 general election. As the opposition leaders intensify their scathing attack against the Kenya Kwanza government, it will be President William Ruto's mandate to fulfill his 2022 campaign promises ahead of next year's general election. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Many thanks indeed, Mike Kagwango. On that particular note, we want to take a short break, but I will be remiss if I don't show you tomorrow's publication of a Star, and this is what you'll be waking up to on the front page of the publication. Karua backs calls for science-driven pick of flag bearer. That is what is on the front page of tomorrow's publication. Stands put her at odds with camps allied to Kalonzo and Gachagua. This story is well fleshed out for you on page 4 and 5 of the publication, and you can see their faces, data method versus negotiations. Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, Justin Muturi, Edwin Sifuna, and Fred Matiang'i. These are their faces there. Also, man who killed mom over fence dispute loses appeal against death sentence. That is on page 9. Audit flags KMC, that is Kenya Met Commission, over 1.7 billion shillings unrecorded debt and declining livestock purchases. Let's scroll up and see what we have on the teaser. Security Education 2027 general election dominates 3 trillion shillings budget. It's all about planning, and this is on page 6 of the publication. And we have fireworks in Parliament as CS Dwale defends US Ebola facility in Laikipia. High alert. The story is on page 2. The government is not rowing back on this isolation center. Also on page 2, you'll have the editorial cartoon there by Ozone. And you can see that is President Trump trying to consult there, maybe balancing the act right now with the Israel-Iran war. And we have also President William Ruto on the other side as well, having a conversation. He's asking, what are you doing about the quarantine base? That's the probing question there. And you can find the editorial cartoon there on page 2. All right, I need to tease out also our panelists who are already here in studio. We shall be joined by FCPA Hesbon Omolo, who's a governance and policy analyst. Also, we shall be joined by Professor Alfred Omenya, governance and policy analyst as well. And we shall be joined by Joshua Kipto, advocate of the High Court, Dr. James Jikal, member of Parliament, Seme, as well. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled and keep out your ear so that we can get engaging, looking at a raft of issues, wide-ranging issues, including that of the government, which is not really rowing back on the stance on Ebola as it stands. And we know amidst all this hue and cry, especially from Laikipia. Don't go away, you're watching TV47 Prime.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today. Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God.
He left me. Nitumie ni live. Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The
cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero make a beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
I won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
Welcome back. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has called for greater investment in data systems, describing reliable data as a critical pillar of sustainable development and effective service delivery. Speaking at the opening of the Global Data Festival 2026 in Nairobi, Kindiki said Kenya is strengthening its digital infrastructure through investments in data governance, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and connectivity. He also urged African countries to build local data capabilities and strengthen national and county data systems to support evidence-based planning and reduce dependence on external data sources.
Data is the epicenter of sustainable development. Even this era of artificial intelligence, data carries added weight because It is the foundation on which the new intelligence will be built. A weak data system, or one that leaves people out, will hand in or will hand those same weaknesses and exclusions to everything that is constructed on that weak data. This festival, therefore, has to help us move data, the subject of data, from a technical subject to a development, financing, and governance priority. Our progress will be evident in whether the data we produce leads to better decisions, financing of the right things, and building resilient and just societies.
And Kenya's automotive manufacturing sector received a boost following the commissioning of a new vehicle assembly line at a local plant in Thika, highlighting growing investment in domestic industrial production. The expansion is expected to create more than 200 direct jobs and over 600 indirect jobs, while supporting skills transfer, local supply development, and increased value addition. Industry players say the investment strengthens Kenya's position as a regional vehicle assembly hub and advances the country's industrial and local manufacturing agenda.
Expansion of KVM to allow more vehicles to be assembled here is a welcome move, because it allows Kenya to be in a position where we can do a bit of value addition here. Our hope eventually is that that value addition can be expanded. Now, what is important is that for Kenya to develop its auto industry, there are certain things that must be done, and I think we've already outlined part of that here. One, we need to build our local auto parts manufacturing, whether they are tire making, battery making, exhaust, chairs, and all those things. Secondly, is also technical expertise and expansion, such as what we've been able to see here, and I think that is also moving well. We also have the automotive policy that is at an advanced stage.
From a customer perspective, I think we will dwell on quality and safety, making sure that all the vehicles coming out of KVM meet a certain quality standard, and obviously safety, which is most important for us.
Kenya has launched efforts to develop Africa's harmonized digital accessibility standard for ICT products and services, aimed at ensuring technology is accessible to persons with disabilities across the continent. Speaking at the Inclusive Africa Conference 2026 in Nairobi, ICT Cabinet Secretary William Kafogo urged developers to prioritize accessibility in digital solutions and AI applications. Stakeholders also called for increased digital and AI skills training for youth with disabilities to enhance participation in Africa's growing digital economy.
Technology now influences how people learn, access health, conduct business, interact with government, and participate in public life. It follows that accessibility can no longer be viewed as a specialized concern. It is a fundamental requirement for inclusive development. Kenya's position is clear. Digital transformation and digital inclusion must advance together. We cannot speak of a successful digital economy if sections of our population remain unable to access the opportunities that technology creates. Accessibility must therefore be considered at the earliest stages of policy, design, infrastructure development, and service delivery.
We must appreciate the fact that digital transformation is only meaningful if it is inclusive. And just so that we don't always play the catch-up game. For millions of persons with disabilities across Africa, indeed, barriers exist. Barriers to education and employment remains a significant reality.
Africa's gaming and betting industry is projected to grow from $12.7 billion in 2026 to $19.4 billion by 2030, prompting renewed focus on regulation, taxation, and consumer protection. The Gaming Tech Summit Africa, held in Nairobi, brought together regulators, policymakers, and industry leaders to discuss sustainable growth, responsible gaming, and cross-border cooperation. Participants emphasized as well the need for stronger regulatory frameworks, improved enforcement, and policy alignment to support investment and innovation across Africa's rapidly expanding gaming sector. That's your business. Let's see what is happening in the world of sports.
TV47 Sports, brought to you by Mozart.
Usicheze chini. Mozart inasupport talent kutoka mtaani hadi viwanjani. Wachezaji na community pia lazima wa hydrate. Maji safi ni game changer mtaani. Usicheze chini. Mozart.
The Kenya national men's team Harambee Stars are already in South Africa ahead of a two-match international friendly series against Lesotho, as head coach Benny McCarthy continues preparations for the upcoming 27 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The first clash is scheduled for this Thursday at Lucas Moripe Stadium in Pretoria, with a second encounter set for the same venue 3 days later. The friendlies will also offer McCarthy an opportunity to assess his squad following several late changes to the travelling team, as Kenya sharpens its readiness for future continental assignments despite already securing a place at AFCON 2027 as co-hosts. Meanwhile, allegations have emerged that the Harambee Stars have been stranded in South Africa after arriving to find that the hotel booked for their stay fell below acceptable standards.
All I want to say is that I just want to dispel rumors circulating on social media about yesterday. I can say, yes, we transferred from the original hotel and went to another hotel, and based on the environment and the photos circulating on social media about players being stranded, I think is just being blown out of proportion, because I remember very well that after checking into the new hotel where we went in, the hotel requested we wait until they prepare, because we had not made any prior arrangement to be accommodated there. So it took us time, but those photos were taken after the players have had their dinner and they were just relaxing, waiting to be allocated their room.
Kenya national women's team Harambee Starlets have touched down in Zambia today for the four nations friendly tournament, as the Starlets intensify preparations for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON with a series of international friendly matches. Starlets head coach Bildin Odembe's side will kick off the tournament against Zimbabwe on June the 6th before facing host Zambia on June the 9th, with the matches providing a crucial test ahead of a continental showpiece scheduled for July 26th to August 16th in Morocco. The Democratic Republic of Congo's pre-World Cup friendly against Chile, due to be played in Spain, has been cancelled due to the Ebola outbreak. The mayor of La Linea, Juan Franco, said on Tuesday that he has been
at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa.
Just to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunywa maji. Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni line.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero make a beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
That's all she wrote. Of course, don't go for a short break yet because we have a very compelling discussion which is upcoming with the panelists who are already here. Dr. James Jikal, who is Member of Parliament of SEME there also, will be joining us. FCPA Hesbon Omolo is already in studio. We have Joshua Kipto, Advocate of the High Court. Professor Alfred Omenya is already here. So this promises to be a very riveting, compelling discussion on a raft of issues that have been highlighting the day. We had also the appearance of the CS held in the National Assembly, who declared that they are not rowing back as far as the Ebola health facility is concerned in Laikipia, which has also, of course, drawn a lot of reaction, sharp reaction for that matter. We shall be looking at that alongside other raft of issues. We'll take a short break right now. We'll circle back with more. Don't go away.